What up, people? Welcome to TX Play, some more BeamNG Drive. Today we're taking 3 more vehicles around the endurance course, the ultimate endurance course. Today we're going to take the Pigeon off-road vehicle, something slightly suited. We've gone for vehicles a bit more suited for the first 3. The ETK rally car, and then the Burnside rally car, which is a mod, which I will post the link for below. And then our final car you'll see in a minute is just ridiculous. If it survives the first couple of corners, I will be surprised. But let's go get into our Pigeon and start things off. So, this is a stripped down, as you can see. He stripped down a 3-wheeler based on the Robin Reliant in real life. So it's going to fall over if we go too fast, but it's light, so it might not do too much damage. There we go, you just saw the end of our stupid final vehicle. The chair's rolling around a little bit, there we go. So we'll see how far this goes. There has been an update to this map. I think it was updated before my last video. I just didn't didn't do the update. So there's been a few texture issues and an extra set of bumps, which I don't think are going to cause too much hassle. Oh, this thing is horrible over the bumps. I'm just going to end up running over the barrier. There we go. Thinking is less weight. Try and keep on his wheels. Less weight in this vehicle, shouldn't do as much damage crashing down, but as you have seen, it tips over, so I have to be quite careful with it because that will do damage. I think these have been raised slightly as well, they just feel a little bit bigger. Here we go, that texture at the top up the hill here has been updated. And we now got a set of logs, which don't do much to most vehicles, but the Pigeon doesn't like it. Sorry, the Widgeon is the updated version of the Pigeon, which I'll run maybe next week. Two-wheeling. Steering is already a little twisted, of course. All the steering, one wheel at the front, which taking all this damage. Although it's landing quite nicely. He says, as the oil pan breaks, which doesn't even feel like a bad landing. I mean, it'd be broken now. Oh dear, Pigeon. Let's get you back on your wheels. That frame, that back end does not look good anymore. One roll has twisted the cab, as we can see. It looks to have bent that rear frame. Can't really see a lot through the mud. I can see that probably gone a little bit crazy on the old video feed there. So it's all, I think this thing is all twisted. I think all the whole front wheel assembly, the rear wheels have all shifted forwards. By the look of it, pretty sure they were central in that frame to start off with. It seems to be more forward now. Actually, I think the whole back end's bent up. I think that's what caused that movement. Steering is not so good. If it didn't like that jump, it's probably not going to like this one. Oh dear, we seem to be a bit stuck. Right. Let's try and find somewhere sensible. I do have quite a strong no grab on because I've had to move the mystery 4th vehicle and driving it was a pain. Yeah, that front wheel is now completely collapsed. Or maybe it's just the chassis on this side is twisted. But we are damaged. We're heading towards the crates, so maybe it'll last a lap. Who knows? I'm not holding out much hope. This thing is almost so light that it bounces off everything weirdly now. It's pretty quick though. Come into the banked corners. Starve the engine of oil as we go around a corner. So our oil is probably leaking because we did damage the oil pan. I don't think we've done much else damage, much more damage to it than this. Just see the back of the frame and the exhaust pipe banging off the ground. It's almost not quick enough to damage itself off these, it's just nice little jumps. There you can see the stupid vehicle we're going to drive later, the big old bendy bus. Because let's be honest, we all want to see a bendy bus break in half. I don't think it's going to, I think it's just going to snap the drive shaft off some of the first jumps. So this didn't really like the speed bumps first time. It's probably not going to like them much the second time. We are crawling along. And there you go, the engine has just given up the ghost. I am going to pull it to the side, normally I leave them where they are, but purely because, let's put it by the frame here. I don't want other vehicles to be handicapped by pigeons. No, I'll pull the door off. That was a no, that's right. Yeah, there we go, just leave it there. Alright. So it lasted one lap. Not too bad. Let's see what a slightly better suited rally car. Probably the best of the cars. Or the better suited of the cars. I do keep forgetting I need to reset them once I start. Just to reset the damage meter in the bottom corner. So this car could go two ways. It's obviously a lot quicker. I'm having to use 2 feet this time to drive. So it could do a lot more damage to itself a lot quicker. Yeah, that pigeon's out of the way, that's alright. I mean, the pigeon went further than ETK 800 and the Bitron rally car. So it's by no means embarrassed itself there. I almost forgot about those. So you can see it's much faster. You can see how it handles the jumps. Those little logs do cause a little problem because they are in the kind of way a car like this one wants to brake. So you're braking over the bumps. Well, somehow I decided to go for a little roll there. No problems like the Pigeon had through the murder course. 4-wheel drive here. Pigeon was still rear-wheel drive. Steering's not too bad. Frame is a little bent from that roll. We have just now ripped the exhaust and the spoiler off. So the car gets a little louder. I don't think the spoiler has much effect. Not the speeds we're carrying. Steering pulling a little to the left, but nothing too bad at the moment. So these bumps will be getting airtime, we'll have time to twist, and they just follow each other one after another, so you get the line slightly wrong, and then fighting the car constantly, but too bad for this car. currently looking good to beat the pigeon. Don't want to speak too soon, things do go wrong. Here we go. Faster than, further, not faster, further than the pigeon. Dare we dream of a 3-lap retirement. Making it 3 laps is the limit we allow these cars to run. If they make it that far, they join the Vanster, which made 6 laps in the first episode and didn't really damage itself. It made 7 laps and didn't damage itself. In the 7th lap I was trying to get it sideways off the jumps. We then have to put it through some other kind of competition to determine which is probably bringing back here and all another run, all the 3 stars. Nope, we've blown the radiator, so we're going to overheat now. Steering is pulling. A little bit more than last time, but not too bad. And we made it over the crates this time without rolling. Oh dear. And then we rolled in the mud, but land on our wheels. So, we're now broken our radiator, which is going to affect our cooling and damage the oil pan. This track destroys cars in weird ways sometimes. I like it. It's a fun circuit to destroy a car. Oh, that pulled massively over the jump. Probably didn't want to hit the tree. Come on, let's find a little node in the middle on the frame. Shed body parts, of course. This isn't good for the car because it's overheating. The oil was getting hot. We don't seem to have much turning to the right anymore. We damaged the wheel. Let's go give the car a little cool. There we go. That one jump, bump, roll, pull has wrecked our steering on one side. So we're now into limp mode. Steering back. A minute ago we didn't have steering in that wheel. Now we do. The car is very heavy to steer. Not what I wanted to do. So it's going to make it hard now to line this car up for jumps and bumps and to keep it under control. Ooh, that was a nasty crap. So we've got to get so much steering lock on just to get the car turned. Try and keep it straight. So, and all of a sudden, so it's doing a weird thing where it just doesn't turn, and all of a sudden it just snap turns into one direction. But we'll see what we can do with it. That was one jump where it just pulled slightly. At the last second on the ramp, I seemed to lose control of it, not be able to correct it, and it then flew off sideways, but unless it does the Bitron, which it is trying to do, it will make 2 laps. It's trying to repeat the Bitron's trick of track crashing on the line. If this makes a 3rd lap, I will be surprised. It's really hard to drive, really fight steering now. The engine is billowing. I think it's going to break somewhere up the hill. If it makes it that far. If this big bumps don't tear off a tyre. I don't know whether the sound of the steering wheel's translating, it's just coming across, but it's bumping and twisting. It's going to hate these turns because I can't. I'm fighting to straighten it, not turn it sometimes. So these precise turns, get that side of that one. I'm literally sometimes I'm steering left into right hand just to slow it down, to stop the steering. It's a constant battle. Oh, this is going to kill the engine because it's going to get super hot. I'm not going to avoid that bump. The engine's reached its limit. That's going to start losing power. It's going to start overheating. It's getting really hard to see through the smoke. Ugh. You can just see I'm not really doing a lot with the steering. I'm having to put lots of lock on. There we go. Engine died. Top of the hill, but about 2.5 laps, and not too bad for the actual rally car. Still only one car retiring on the beach. That is the fantastic, the H series. But let's see what this big boy can do. The Burnside rally car. Like I said, this is a mod I downloaded this morning, some Burnside cars. So, I forgot to reset it again. There we go. Some Burnside rally cars. This is the rally spec, so hopefully got some decent suspension. Don't know whether it's 4-wheel drive or not, but it's big and heavy. Some pace about it. Tell you what, it's not sluggish. Not sure this car would ever be suited to rallying. Box of nothing there. You can see those rear doors bending and vibrating already after one jump. Steering is also a little alarmingly twisted for a lot of straight on jumps already, but it's got some power. It's got V8 in it. Yep, broken a radiator. The front end is bent up nicely. So place your bets on how far around the corners you think the bendy bus is going to get. Bets in the comments before you watch it, obviously. I'm honestly not expecting it to survive the lap. If it gets up the hill, I'll be impressed. This thing is big and heavy. It's just clonking down. Glad I don't drive from first person. The main reason I don't drive first person is because obviously I think you'd want to see the cars, so I don't drive Beam in first person very often. As I come back to shake itself loose, we've beaten up Pigeon. Don't think we're going to catch the ETK. Got another lap to do that. This isn't driving too badly, but just watching that engine temperature creep up. Its steering, although slightly damaged, is doing okay. Big engine just, you can see just overheating. There's not a lot I can do about that. I think I could get it into the stream, into the, if it gets to the water jump. I don't think the mud here is going to cool it down. Tries to stick its nose, bury its nose in there. Oh, it's stuck somehow. So I don't mind pulling the car out if it gets stuck, if it shouldn't. Oop, managed to make that go wrong. Shouldn't really get stuck. It is a rally car after all. So. The mud can cause some cars issues, especially when they get damaged. There is a hole, massive path here is doing it. Okay, through these, smoke billowing out the front. You gotta drive to the side in case the bus makes it this far. I don't want to be in the way, but this engine is toast. It's that the rod bearings are gone, which means it's down on power already. Might be able to give it a cool in the stream, in the little pond here. If we land in it, I'm not going to stop in there. Or we might just get stuck in there. Which is much more likely, apparently. Keep clicking. Sorry, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. There we go. Right. Come on, out you come. I think this one might be dead. No, we have a little bit of power. We have a little bit of drive. We're just not going to cope with the mud. I think we broke down in a handy spot for it as well, because it seems to have cooled. That temperature will shoot up, and I don't think it'll make it back to the ETK. It's probably going to suffer with pretty much the same fate, dying on the hill. That far, look how fast that temperature's rising on the engine. This car is just falling to pieces. But just every time I look off to the side, there's bits of bodywork flying around. The steering's just trying to pull heavily to the left. This car is going to hunt down the ETK. We'll top on this today's show. Oh, I don't think it's going to catch it, but no, there it goes. His engine died on the hill. I'm going to have to pull this car out of the way. Just yank it out of the way. I just pull the front end out. No, not quite. Alright. So, it's time. Maybe get that right out of the way. It's time to see what the bendy bus can do. If you haven't placed your bets, now is your last chance. Will it beat the Pigeon? Or will it join the Zero Club of the ETK 800 and the Bitron Rally Car, which was woefully unlucky, to be fair? The bendy bus. Here we go. Remember to reset it. There we go, so we've got a clean bus. It's probably one of the biggest vehicles, unless I decide to start pulling trucks around. In London these are called Boris buses, because Boris Johnson, now Prime Minister, when he was Mayor of London, thought these were a good way of getting around London. He kept braking, catching fire. I don't know how this bus is driven. I know the engine's at the back. I don't know how the front gets power. I don't know if we get stuck on the ramp, whether we can push ourselves off or pull ourselves off, or whether we can do both. Oh, we're getting up the hill, okay. Come on, bendy bus. Well, I thought he'd get stuck on the first hill, on the first jump, to be honest. I'm not sure it's going to be like the descent down here. See whether we can make a bendy bus fly. Nope. We have broken the bendiness of it. Ooh, we've done something crazy to the bus. This is why I run the big vehicles last, because they just shed body parts. Oh, the radiator's damaged. Looks like our front wheels still steer, our rear wheels are broken here, and our back wheels are up in the air. Can we pull them down and get the bus back on its wheels? So I've worked out how the bus works. So the rear wheels are driven and it pushes the front half along. We've broken the two, which means every time we have to pull it back. Now we've got steering and we've got to separate. We separated the bus. Bye bye back end of the bus. Well, there you go. The bus, if you break it, breaks in half, and we've managed to split the bus straight down the middle. So bendy buses are not good for this. Thank you very much for watching. If you're still here, please consider a like, subscribe. It helps motivate me. Keeps me going, lets people know people like the channel, and spreads it to other people. I know a lot of people don't subscribe. That would be nice if you would consider it, but not an essential. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.